Happy Monday night, folks. Welcome to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. It's me, Gene, with the Dock Talk. Season 4 finale is tonight. We got the top anglers from the CKFC's final event of the year that was held at Chatfield. And we may or may not have some of our fellow hosts of some of the other Paddle and Fin shows have a chance to stop by. That storm really wreaked havoc on a lot of folks without power, without cell service. So unfortunately, that kind of affected our ability to be able to bring them in. But nevertheless, we're going to have an awesome show tonight. We're going to talk fishing. We're going to talk about, some state championship stuff that's coming up here. We got all kinds of stuff to cover. So hang tight. Let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. Happy Monday night, folks. TPO Dock Talk with my man, Mr. Jimmy Straws. How the hell are you, boss?
Doing great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Glad to have you here on this season finale, man. Season 4, 56 episodes we cranked out this year on the season here. So
wow.
that's not too shabby.
No, that's pretty good. That's more than one a week, huh?
Yeah.
Sneaking in a couple extra, right?
Yep, we were doubling up here and there on some of the pre-recorded stuff. You know, when you got stuff you want to get out there, you know, you let her fly. And Paddle and Fin has been awesome with that. They've let us put our episodes out there when we needed to and keep this stuff going. Kind of a bittersweet deal, man. We've got big green pastures on the other side of all this, but this is also the final Paddle and Fin episode for us. We are leaving the network after this episode here. Next week, we'll be back to just the TPO channels ourselves because we've got some stuff in the works, folks. So hang tight with us. We're working on a few things. It is kind of cool. And could open up some new doors and get the mission out there to even more people. So exciting, man. And Straws, you coming with me on this stuff, dude?
Yeah, man. TPO coming alive in 25.
I love it. Hell yeah.
You can have that one for free. I was
gonna say, I gotta write this down here. Coming alive. Hey, this is an awesome one we have here tuning in via a YouTube. How about this? USA Kayak Fishing Magazine. Hey, we appreciate you tuning into our little show, man. Much appreciated.
Welcome.
For sure. Hope you like what we got going tonight here. So originally what we had set up here. Hang on a sec here. What we had originally set up is having a few of the Paddle and Fin guests, the host of some of the other shows actually coming in and joining us here because I wanted to promote a lot of their other shows, so we'll actually be able to do just that very same thing. If you folks out there who are watching the TPO Dock Talk, if you're unaware what the Paddle and Fin has to offer, go check it out, man, because every night of the week there is a different show that goes off, and it covers different topics. Some of the shows about salt fishing, saltwater fishing. Some of the shows are for brand new folks just getting into kayak fishing. Some of the ones, some of the shows that they have out there are for the more seasoned angler and the tournament angler that drives around the country, or that you're trying to get into tournament angling in your local areas here. They have something for everybody. So check them out. My good buddy John Rapp from the Rusty Hook podcast, he and I linked up shields this whole season here, and we broadcast on each other's channels quite a bit, and that's why you'll see some of the Rusty Hook podcast going off on our stuff and our stuff going off on his channel. We did that basically to just make sure that we're getting that broad coverage out there. And that's the main piece that we were trying to do, is promote each one of the shows so that folks have a different offering each night of the week there. So if you haven't had a chance, go check out the Paddle and Fin. You get them on Facebook, get them on Instagram, and all the major audio downloads, man. You can go to Spotify, of course, Apple Podcast, you name it. It's we broadcast out, basically on every major platform that's out there from the Paddle and Fin. So if you look that up, you will see exactly the different shows that they have each night of the week. So John is actually texting me right now. And I think our time zones here may have got us, but we'll see if he can make it in here in a little bit.
Well,
It's okay. We got some anglers here. One, two, three. We're missing Austin's. That's all we're missing here. 1 second. See where he's at. Austin. He's seen it, so we'll see if we can get him in here. I did tell him about 6:15, so that's not a problem. Hey, man, before we get talking about Chatfield here, let's go ahead and talk about what's on deck right now for CKB. State championship. It's a big deal, dude. We're heading to Pueblo.
yeah, it's this is probably the last chance for Colorado guys or anybody that has fished too with us to get in and punch your ticket to the big dance, as we say, for the Bassmaster Kayak National Championship, which just got announced that it will be held in Lake Fork in 2025 in March. So,
Dude,
looking at the
bucket
numbers,
list.
yes, you got, for sure. For a kayak with that place, especially that time, I think what, to middle of March, end of March, that should be pretty good down there. Just hope you don't get no ice storms down there at that time of year. I think it's kind of past it, but it can get kind of ugly. I know I went down there for the Hobie series back in 2020 in February, and we had a little bit of the rain comes in, the nights get cold, and then those bridges freeze real. They get that skim ice down there. And so hopefully it's past all that. But yeah, I can't wait. Pueblo is going to be good. It looks like the weather's going to hold out for us. We'd no major wind coming in. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sunny. So according to the weather, we could have bluebird skies, low wind on Saturday on tournament day. So
Could
that's
be
going to change some things up.
could be a lot of fun, man. Could be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that the whole lake goes into play. If there's one little whiny moment, and just because I say something doesn't mean anybody has to do anything about it. All right, I just like to whine every now and again. All right, and if I have one whiny thing about Colorado fishing that gets to me is I don't like places where it's offshore only. Right, that's now sure you can catch other fish, not offshore, but if you want to have a shot at winning, some of these places you got to go offshore. That's just the way it is. Now, it's not just Colorado. There's places in Minnesota like that. There's, those are my least favorite type of lakes where quality is in this area, no matter the season, right? It's like, come on, because I just suck at offshore. So I'm going to whine about it every chance I get.
That's the key. And this time of year, I'm wondering, a little hint going in. Have those fish gotten the signal that it's fall? Like, I mean, the nights are dipping down, but have they truly gotten that signal? Are they still in their summer patterns? Where are these fish? And if you can find them, they're definitely, if you can find the right ones, but
Yeah.
it's a matter of trying to find them in a vast majority of a giant, I don't call it giant lake, but big for a kayak, and
Yeah.
only have a couple days to figure out exactly where they are. And remember, if it's going to be 93 on Saturday, we're
Oh,
not
we're
going
going
to
to
be
have
the only ones
boats.
out there. There's going to be
No.
a bunch of wreck boats. There's going to be all kinds of stuff happening. So,
And speaking of wreck
and
boats,
accordingly,
the guys we're going to bring in here know all about wreck boats, dog. After Chatfield,
yeah,
good night. But
for
my
sure.
man, my brother from another mother, Mr. John Rapp, is sitting in the green room. He has joined us. Let's go ahead and get him in here as promised. Let's go ahead and get the man in.
Hey
Mr.
guys.
Rapp, how the heck are you, sir?
Hey, I'm still trying to recover from my trip to Susquehanna here the past 3 days.
Dude, that content you've been putting out, you found yourself a whole wad nest of those smallies. That was beautiful stuff.
Hey, I was struggling because the water was low, but it jumped up, and I took my little river boat where I wished I would have took an NK 300 because the water was high enough that I could have pushed it around a little bit more. But I did find some quality fish each day, and like Jimmy was saying, they are transitioning. They're, you're going to have to go look for fish now. I don't know what 93 degrees is that forecast? Sunny,
Yeah.
bluebird skies. Well, then you got to be hoping they do push to the banks and cover,
Right.
because the 3 days that I was out on the river, it's a mile long, mile wide, the Susquehanna. New experience for me. And it was overcast and raining, mid 60s, or low 70s all 3 days. So
Sounds
I
like
had to
fall.
go. Yeah, I had to go look for them. I was out in the middle of the river. I found some rock piles out in the middle of the river where they were stacked up in front of them, and they were smashing that chatterbait as I blew it through them. So
That's
it was
awesome.
it was a good day. Yeah.
I
So
love I
Jim,
love smallies on a chatterbait, dude. There's just something about that is a ton of fun. 2 years ago I found that in La Crosse off of a not, it wasn't a wing dam, but it was an outcropping, maybe an old wing dam. And I kept running that thing, burning it across the top there, a little brown chatterbait, and those smallies were just destroying it. It was a ton of fun.
well, you get the right color this time of year too.
Yeah.
Gold. Go with the gold and bronze, boys.
Dude, lacrosse is always, it's got a special kind of Mississippi stain to it. So, letting a little juice go there. Yeah. But you can never go wrong with a brown or some shade of it at lacrosse. That's always going to serve you well there, no matter what you're throwing. So, well, hey man, this is, I'm so glad you could make it there. I feel bad that some of the other guys, with the storms and everything, knocking everybody's service out. That totally sucks. But we had talked a little bit about the paddle and fin, each night a different show, and the connection that you and I had from day one, basically being, broadcasting on each other's, channels here just to kind of pick things up for each other. That was super, super cool. And the rusty hook, man, that has been a labor of love of yours for quite some time, hasn't it, John?
Yeah, I just started finished my 4th year, going into 5 years. It was a no-name podcast for its first 6 months because I couldn't think of what I wanted to call it. And then, I'm one of those guys. My boat is never clean, and I went out fishing, and I'm looking in the bottom of my hull, and there's about 6 or 7 hooks laying down there, and I pick one of them up. It's all rusty. I'm like, that's a rusty hook, and it just like, okay, I'm gonna use that. So that's how That's how that came about.
That's perfect, dude. I mean, it's such a relatable term, the rusty hook. I mean, we've all got them. You hope you don't get them in your hand.
So let me backtrack here. I want to ask Jimmy, where is this tournament? Are y'all talking about Colorado tournament?
Yeah. Yep. Pueblo.
Yeah, it's held at one of
Okay.
our bigger lakes down in Pueblo Reservoir. So it has a little bit of everything. I mean, you can get out into 140 feet of water, and you can be up next to a bluff wall dropping 60 feet down. You could be
Yeah.
on a flat right in the middle of the lake out of nowhere, and it could be just gravel flat. And we don't have not a cover, so to speak. Although if you do get the Arkansas River really feeds that from its main inlet coming down there. So, the old river channel and stuff has some flooded trees and some flooded timber. But man, water gets stained, and we still have mountain runoff. So you always have to consider that, snow is still melting up in the mountains. And if it's coming down through there, that's still 34, 36 degree, 38, maybe 40-degree water dumping into a
Def-
reservoir that's 70. Like in the middle of summer, our lakes don't get above 72 degrees just because
Yeah.
of our elevation. So it's a different animal.
Well, I will tell you my age here a little bit. I was stationed out in Colorado when I was in the Army back in '85. I was at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center there in Aurora. So got to spend a little bit of time down in that area. But I wasn't fishing. Most of my time was spent out in the evening times doing a little coyote hunting.
Nice. Yeah, plenty of them around here.
It was good back in them days, John. I'm saying, I got here in the early '90s, and it was prime hunting.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Your excitement lasted about 15 seconds when that pack would blow down on you coming in, and then 2 shots off and they were gone. So, it was quick. It's almost as quick as that smallmouth jumping out of the water and spitting at chatterbait right back at you when you didn't get that good hook set.
That's right. Mr. Dwayne Wally tuning in through Facebook. How are you, boss? Good to have you here, man. Appreciate you, Dwayne.
Total package.
Yup.
Yeah.
That's one of the best human beings. If you ever have a chance to meet him, do so, because he is just what a cool individual, man. And we're lucky to have that guy, keeping Tourney X flowing and keeping his
Yeah.
vision out there for us for our sport, man. It's a good deal. So yeah, man. So the for us, we've got some things we're in the middle of works on. That's what caused us to make this kind of jump here for season 5. Just because we're going to be kind of realigning a couple things here and there. But the Paddle and Fin, you guys have been, you and Randy, and of course the commander himself, Mr. Schiller. I've worked mainly with the three of you guys more than anything. And I want you to hear it directly from me that I don't have words to truly express the thanks for what you guys have done for us with our little show, the opportunities that you gave to us here. And, it's just, this has been something we created with the sole purpose of keeping the mission flowing, bringing more attention to what we're trying to do out there with the TPO, of course, and then talk some fishing, man. It's something we love to do. And if we can disguise that, that pathway to healing as a fishing, chat, then that's the way, we love doing that, because we know what it's doing for guys and gals out there. And we want to make sure that keeps going. And Paddle and Fin, man, you guys gave us a platform that was much bigger than anything we had, up to that point whatsoever. And we're just thoroughly grateful for everything you guys have done, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's always available to you. So whenever you want to come out and slum it a little bit with us, come on back and talk to everybody here in West Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, and your folks out there, Illinois. Come out, talk to us, keep us up to date on what your projects are. I mean,
Yes,
I
sir.
know what you're doing. I don't know if you've announced it yet, but
Nope,
I'm
not
really
fully.
proud. I'm really proud of knowing that we were one of the steps that led you to what you're doing, and
Yeah.
wish you nothing but the best. So,
Well, and in the future, if the opportunity arises, which it very well may, we could be working together again. Depending on where we go, with this thing, and our destinations. Hey, I wanted to ask you something here because it does strike close to home, and you tell me to shut up if you don't want to talk about it. But how's everything going with the treatment and stuff right now that you've been working on? Are you
well,
good?
I got my face covered pretty badly here, as you can see.
Holy hell, brother!
It's So guys, make sure you wear your sunscreen. I'm My time in the military, and I'm now 100% disabled because of this skin cancer I'm fighting. And some of these guys in the background, like my boy Austin down there, I can tell he's a ginger. You need to be wearing that sunscreen, brother. You guys take care of yourselves, because I'm using a chemo cream, which I had to put on for 21 days, and it attacked everything that was in bad skin. So right now I'm healing up.
Good.
But then from here down is my next treatment, and so it's not going to be pretty. I'll probably need to do like Jamie there in the background and try to put a full rug on here and cover it all back up. But I guess that's going to have to wait until that gets treated a little bit. So, but yeah, sunscreen and
Cover up.
good clothing. Cover up. Take care of yourselves. Not for you, but your family as well.
Well, brother, I'll tell you, that speaks right to our guys here in Colorado. Our sun tries to kill you. It is
Well,
wicked potent.
Hey, I was there for a year.
Yep.
A little over a year. So I got to experience, and not only is it your sun, but your snow, which reflects sunlight right back up. You're catching it year round. And I know that Colorado is one of the most sunniest locations in the nation, and you guys you're getting it all the time. So cover up, use that sunscreen.
Well, you got positive vibes and all kinds of healing thoughts coming from the entire TPO nation, brother. We got
Appreciate
you in our thoughts
that.
and prayers. Hell yeah. You just keep fighting it, keep doing what you got to do. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be, like I said, we'll be chatting again, because I'm going to have you on the show. And I'm like a bad penny, brother. I always turn up somewhere.
Hey, I like to flip a coin every once in a while.
I have a feeling we're going to cross paths in Texas come March. That'll be
I hope
awesome.
so.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be
I hope
there.
so.
We're there for sure. I'm hoping I'm fishing it. I mean, that's the joy, right? Jim, hopefully he's fishing it. So, the guys that we're about to bring in, any one of these guys, I think, are have a shot at, as long as they fish 2 CKB events, they get a chance to get in the state championship. So that's it's going to be a hell of a deal.
Awesome.
So Tuesday nights, what time does the Rusty Hook go off?
Eastern time, which I apologize for jumping on late, Gene, because
That's all right, brother.
I, for some reason, would think we were 2-hour difference. But so I'm an hour ahead of you guys, and I actually did a pre-recorded show for tomorrow night where I used some Google Maps and threw in some other videos,
Cool.
like the 2 that I posted today, showing what I was using and talking about my fishing experience up in Pennsylvania.
Good stuff. And that's Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
7:30. So be out your way. It's what, an hour earlier. So
Are you Eastern time?
yes,
Then we're 2 hours.
it is 2 hours.
Yeah, we're actually Mountain. out
Okay.
here.
Well, okay.
7 p.m. Yeah,
I thought
7
it was 2 hour
p.m.
difference. Okay.
7 p.m. Central is what I because I always reference Central since we have a decent audience out there in the Central time zone.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yes.
yeah, cool. So
Well, and if you can't catch it, just go check it out when you get time. It's up there on the network. So
totally, and that's like we told them. I mean, Randy's got a great show. Is Schiller back doing some more? Is he doing the Friday night thing?
yeah, Friday Night Bites. We haven't talked a lot lately, so I'm not sure if he's tied up with working on the new bait lineup that Dubro's working on.
That's exciting.
It's exciting. But guys, watch for it. He's going to try to drop stuff in January.
That's going to be cool. Dubro's such an awesome company, man. It's there's such I love the innovation that goes in behind the scenes on those guys. They put a lot of time and effort into that.
Well, they've really adopted kayak fishing, fishing in general, but with Brian going in as their marketing director, and he spends a lot of time doing product development as well. I got to go up last December and help design with the new cup and some other stuff that they're working on that's going to come down the pipe later. And they're really trying to take care of us and get into our market, into our niche. So
That's awesome.
pay attention to them, watch them. Go sign up for their email. It comes out like 3 times a week, and you can see what they're doing. So
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, brother. Well, I've got some guys hanging in the background. I'm going to go grab them. John, we love you so much, man. Thank you very, very
Thanks,
much
John.
for everything.
pleasure, men. God bless you. Stay safe, and when y'all go to do your trick or treating, make sure you take your masks off, because it looks like everybody's wearing that ugly mask right now. So, but be blessed, fellas. God bless you, and thanks for having me on.
Take care,
John.
man. All right, folks, we're going to take 30 seconds here real quick. We're going to roll a little commercial, and then we're going to bring in the CKFC top anglers here. Stick with us. All right, we paid the bills. That John is a good dude, man.
Yeah, he is.
We're gonna have to definitely work with the Rusty Hook a little bit more in the future here. Make sure we'll tie in with those guys. We'll keep tabs on them, see what they're up to. All right, let's get to it. Chatfield, Colorado Kayak Fishing Club, 2 events back to back: bass, then the multi-species. Let's go ahead and bring in the top guys from bass here. I got that those standings up there. This dude decided, you know what? I'm up for Rookie of the Year. It's a close one. I'm just going to shut the damn door on all y'all and win the Rookie of the Year and win the event. Mr. Jamie McTaggart. Let's bring him in. What's happening, Jamie? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Of course. And now we're going to bring in another dude that is absolutely no stranger to top finishes and wins and in the state of Colorado, he knows these waters. He knows any waters if you put him out there. He's just one of those guys that's smart. So of course we're always watching him with a side eye because he's smart. We're gonna bring in Mr. Jason DeWong coming in second place there. What's happening, Jason?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Appreciate you taking the time, man. Know you're a busy dude.
No worries. Happy to be on. Thanks for having me for sure.
You have like a freaking great radio voice. I'm just noticing it now.
It's a little low, and people that have not met me in real life and just heard me on the phone are always shocked that I'm Asian. So I don't know.
Right.
But it always catches them by a little surprise.
You drop one of those "Hey girls" on them like that.
My toast place, you know.
Well, listen, you guys came out there and put on a show. Now, I'm going to say this because it was tough fishing. Now, I know Jason doesn't think so, but that was tough fishing. And here's how I'm going to say it. Because there were only 2 dudes in the entire field that managed to find a bass over 16 inches. Now, McTaggart found all of them except one. He got that's all he could find was 16-inch and above fish. Jerk. But great job. And Jason, you went out there, you put up a solid, stringer 15s and almost 15s across the board as well. But there was only one other guy, and that was our man, Mr. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe there was another guy after that. Nope. Oh, no, yeah. So 2. Okay. Yeah. There were 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that found a fish over 16. My bad.
You know what's crazy though? If you look at the multi-species day, we actually caught bigger bass on the multi-species day.
Right.
There was a couple guys that caught, I think 5, 6, 16s. I caught an 18 and a quarter. Was my first cast of the day. So there was a lot of fish that were 16 inches or bigger that were actually caught on the multi-species day. I don't know if it was changing tactics or whatever, but there's a lot of bigger fish caught too. So it was interesting.
It's like they took Saturday off and said, okay, Sunday we'll go back to work.
Maybe. I mean, it's tiring being on that lake for sure. So I think they need to take a rest every once in a while.
Jamie,
do you think it was? Do you think it was the changing of the styles because you could troll? You think that was it? I mean, your business, did your biggest one come doing bass style stuff? Working around.
Yeah, I was on a shower blow first thing in the morning.
Nice.
So, on the bass day, I started doing the same thing both mornings. There's a big long rocky point. I threw a shower blow out there. First day on the bass day, I caught 6, 7, 8 fish within my first half hour that were all 14, 15, in that kind of range. So I did the same thing on multi-species day. That was my first stop because it was really close to the ramp. It was this huge rocky point. First cast of the day on the shower blow, 18 and a half or 18 and a quarter. And then caught a few other ones out there. So I think it was the same tactic. And I know the other guys that caught him, one was doing a little jig in deeper water out by the dam. I know Austin, who will be on here in a second, caught his on a spinnerbait and a jig and minnow back in kind of where Jamie and I were fishing because both of us were kind of doing the same thing by midday. So I think tactics weren't trolling. I didn't hear anybody catch a big one trolling. Most of the guys caught them on other stuff, nets, jerk baits, a lot of those type of things.
Jamie, did you fish the multi-species day as well?
No,
just the bass side.
I'm new to Colorado, so I'm scared of those walleye right now. So,
well, you're doing pretty good at new to Colorado. You went and found yourself a big old bag of them out there, man.
Yeah.
What was your magic supper that you had the night before? What was going on?
Well, it was actually I had I've been tournament fishing for probably 20 years now, and but man, on those good days when I do really well in big tournaments, or even when I start doing kayak tournaments, it was just the night before. I don't know what it is. I have these dreams, and it sounds weird, but I have these dreams, and I knew it was going to be a good day because I had that dream, where I did well. So it's weird, but
No, I'm a full believer in a lot of that stuff. However, every time I've dreamt that I was going to do well, I break a rod, throw tackle
Yeah.
overboard, run into the rocks, something. I completely kick my own ass, Jamie, when I dream that stuff. So I try not to dream at all.
I think the big part was, I'm new, so that was only the second time I've ever been on that lake. So I think
Wow.
me not fishing history has a big part of it. I mean, it hasn't helped me on the CKB side because for some reason I don't know what's going on with me in that series, but it just
Guys burning it down.
right.
Burn it down.
So the I just think it's not having that history because it seemed like,
Nice.
I mean, I was the only one sitting that far back in the morning. I launched with Flanagan, and he went farther up, north, even though we launched there.
Yep.
And then
Now it's from Kingfisher, right?
yeah.
Yep.
And it was just, I had no history, and my pre-fishing, I found one pattern, and I was trying to find a second or a third, like you should, and I just couldn't do it. And so I was a little bummed about that, but I talked to Jason when we ran into each other running our island. It was our hope was it was going to keep repopulating, and
Yeah.
it literally did.
That's awesome.
It was pretty sweet. You leave it alone for a while, even though there were bass boats pulling up or another kayaker may have swung by, but when we pulled back through it, we caught another fish or two. Then we left again, and then come back to it, and it was just over and over. And pre-fishing, and I caught like 4 in a row, like within 20 minutes, and I just put that rod down, and I just left and went to try to go do something else. And I didn't want to burn the spot, but
Right.
my hope was that it was just repopulating because it was a little dirtier in that area. So.
Good stuff, man. I want to keep talking about you, but I'll also bring in the other guys that came in Sunday there as well. This guy, he just he has a tendency of doing this. When he shows up, he just leaves no doubt, and he just smashes you, on the scoreboard there. Mr. Paul Roth. Let's go ahead and bring this guy in. What's happening, Paul? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
And then another first timer to the show here. This is awesome. He's been fishing with us here, Mr. Austin Mortensen. Let's go ahead and bring him in. What's happening, Austin? Your mic is muted, just so you know. Austin,
Sorry,
there you go.
Muted mic. Thanks for having me
There you
on.
go. Of course, brother. Of course. You got somebody driving you around. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm on my way to a sister's birthday dinner, so.
Well, we sincerely appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
So
Sorry about the close-ups of my ear. I have bad hearing as well, so
that's all
just
right.
don't mind me.
That's all right, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll start with you here. And 78 inches on the day. You got yourself, looks like 2 bass, 2 walleye, and a trout for the day there. To end up with 78 inches. Did you fish the bass tournament on Saturday?
I did not. I pre-fished for the multi-species on Saturday, and that's why I had an idea where they were.
Nice. Good stuff. So yeah, man, do you have much experience on Chatfield? Was there a lot of history that you were playing with there? Or is this all kind of new to you as well?
I live close by, but because of the boat and wake traffic, I try to avoid it as much as I can. I prefer Aurora and Quincy, but I've been there a few times and I've had decent luck, so.
Good stuff. Jason, you were definitely at both of those. So were you, Paul. Traffic wise, what did you guys think from Saturday to Sunday? Was it comparable? Was there a little bit more Saturday, a little less Sunday? What were your thoughts?
Saturday was pretty insane. Personally, Saturday was pretty hectic, but that's I ended up in the no wake zone. On Sunday it was lighter in the mornings, but at midday, I mean, it was a slow day for Chatfield, but a slow day for Chatfield is still like a slow hour on 25, right? It's still a little crazy. It gets a little intense out there, and I know Paul and I were kind of fishing in the corner, and We're a little exciting in that corner over there with the wake boats and all that craziness happening.
Paul, were you in the no wake zone as well, or did you venture out into the open seas?
Yeah, I tried to go a little bit out towards the dam and went right back, but it didn't seem to matter. It takes you wherever you go. You got to get used to it, and the fish don't seem to mind.
So I was saying this at the awards. When we went to Norton, Kansas, the wind was blowing pretty heavy. I was like the only dude that went out to the dam out there. The Unlimited, she handles big water pretty well, no problem. I never really felt unsafe out there. There was a couple other guys. I think Jason, actually, I think you came out there once or twice too as well. It was blowing pretty heavy. But I never really felt like I was in dangerous situation, or I wouldn't have done it. I would have backed off and got out of there. Saturday, good God. My motor, the boat, I pulled off of that dam because those 3 and 4 footers that were coming in, they just were relentless, and there was actually, rogue wave situation where you get these two, and all of a sudden here comes a 4 out of nowhere. It's like, what the hell was that? And sooner or later I figured I'm going to end up on these rocks, and I'm a good distance out because I was fishing out, trying to be out in about 12 to 20 feet of water. And it was just shoving, even with the motor there. It got to the point where it's just not safe. I did not feel safe, and I buzzed out, got the heck off the dam there from where I was at. It was nuts. That was, I will say, I was all on the north side, and I went and tucked back into a no wake. And yeah, I was not thinking about fishing. That was not the thing that was on my head. But enough of that stuff there. Paul, you're no stranger to Colorado fishing, dude. I mean, you know these waters really, really well. My understanding was you took a year off or something. You took a little hiatus because I didn't see you much last year. And then all of a sudden this year you come in and I'm pretty sure I've bought you a rod or two. So far from the money I've donated.
I don't know if I took a hiatus last year, but I didn't do as well as I did this year.
Yeah, he sucked last year.
Second in Angler of the Year last year, so rough one.
He was only second last year. It's a terrible year.
Straws, you've got solid history at Chatfield. This time of year, what are your thoughts on that thing? Was it? I'm sure you saw some of the results coming out of there. Which what did it look like to you?
Well, I stayed home, so that tells you where my thoughts were.
I know that. I'm just thinking about what you saw as far as the results of what was put up there, just kind of the bass in general. Because day 2 most certainly is. There are far better fish on the multi-species side in the bass, especially as I'm looking down the list. There were just bigger fish definitely found and caught on Sunday. It's like they woke up.
Yeah, that interests me, from a mental, from a thinker standpoint, because, I asked Jason earlier, do you think it was because somebody was trolling? I just think people were opening to more techniques to catch multiple species. Therefore, they weren't so concentrated on staying in a shallow zone looking for traditional bass style fishing, but they went out and they're like, hey, maybe I can get a walleye to go on a Ned rig in 35 feet on this point, and then bam, you smack a 19-inch smallie or something. But I don't know. I'm thinking that's probably the way it was. But my big question going in, even just wondering through the whole time, and I'm going to ask this now, Paul or Jason, I would ask, Austin the same deal, but Jamie hasn't been there enough. What do you think about the new water levels? It's been flooded for the last couple of years. You think that's played any? Have you seen? From what I was looking at, it looked like there was a lot of largemouth on the board there, and that I'm not used to seeing at Chatfield. So I don't know. Do you think this flooded water, these new water levels, have something to do with that?
Yeah, I think that obviously there's a lot more cover in the water, which is more conducive to largemouth. But it's not even the larger largemouth. There was just, usually in that back end you catch largemouth, but they were everywhere and small ones too. So I think it's an indicator, something good for the future there too. Just more water, more cover, and obviously more fish. It's a fishy place.
Yeah, for sure.
It's completely different than what it was pre flood, right? Like pre flood, I know, like I ran over to some historic spots like the gravel pits. Gravel pits completely different. I spent like 10 minutes there, and I ran back over to the trees, bounced back into Jamie, and we, and Gene was talking about like traditional stuff. I don't think there was more traditional thing than you could have done than what Jamie and I was doing back there.
That's awesome.
Flipping trees and bushes with Texas rig pegged.
Yeah, my experience, I haven't had much before the flooding. It's all been post flooding, so it hasn't been much of a change for me.
Nice.
Even I wasn't in that back end with the trees, but the brush around the points that used to be out of the water was in the water, and I was throwing a chatterbait and a crankbait around and catching my fish. So just new cover in general.
That's exciting.
Did anybody go ahead, Gene? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's exciting. That's good to hear, because all I had heard about that one area was the gravel pits, which is why I didn't go there, because I figured 9 other people would already be there, which is why I didn't bother, and I think everybody else thought that too, and there was like 4 guys down there. That's it.
I think Paul and I were there for about 10 minutes apiece because we saw each other. We were both there for a second. And it's completely different than it used to be. Like, you knew where it was, but it's like the water level is insane for where it used to be. But what's interesting is those trees, like Jamie and I, when we were fishing it was just not largemouth there. It was largemouth and smallmouth in those trees.
Big smallies.
So you flip into those trees and stuff like that. You didn't really know what it was. Was it going to be a good smallmouth? Was it going to be largemouth? Whatever. So it was interesting because I thought it was going to be heavy largies back there, but it was mixed.
That is so good to hear that you're actually flipping at Chatfield and you're flipping stuff and getting bit with 2 different species. Because back in the day, that was not the case. Did anybody on this panel here go east? The main marina, you go down that launch right there and you go to the right. Is the water high enough that was flooded back in that area too? Did anybody go back there?
No.
I did. I didn't really get much back there.
The bait was there.
Yeah, the bait was there.
Almost all but 1 seagull was back in there, because clearly Collins had found the other one. But all of the birds were back there. Lazy seagulls, like seagulls just swimming on the water, dipping their beak to the side and eating fish. I mean, they weren't even diving them. They're just like, meh.
Wow.
Mine.
Yeah.
Take the ramp to Sheridan
So
Boulevard.
let's go down through it here
Sheridan
and
Boulevard.
we'll check here. Austinson, let's start with you here. What was the name to your game? What was the bait that was getting it done? I know multi-species, so you had to change it up. But what was if you care to share? You don't have to if you don't want to.
It was pretty much those what was it? The size 7 flicker shad, silver with a black back, got everything trolling. Wow. And then like Jason was saying, the spinner and jig and minnow were for the bass, but I had 4 bass by 9 o'clock. All of them not that big, but still made me regret not doing the bass tournament the day before. So, but yeah, this was my first time using it, the scented flicker shads.
Oh, wow.
Where you just shoot the juice into the side of it, and they loved it. So I was doubled up at one point. I had the trout in the net, and I was pulling in my other lure, and I don't know how big it was, but that would have been my 3rd walleye. So I almost gave Paul a run for his money, but unfortunately it came off right at the boat.
I didn't even know there were scented flicker sheds. That's
Yeah, I think it's newer. They just have like little grooves down the side and on the belly where you shoot some of that, the bait wax into it. So,
dude, I want a hat that says "shoot the juice." I mean, flat out.
Yeah, pardon my French.
No, that's good, man. I love it. Awesome stuff. We got some comments flowing in here, so we got to get some of these in here. We were giving Dwayne Wally some his props. He come back with the same as well. We love you too, man. Appreciate all your hard work. Chen Char, no stranger to winning stuff here in the state of Colorado. We got Chen out here. What's up, fellas? And of course, no Colorado tournament would be complete or podcast would be complete without the commentary of Mr. Eric Ali. Just here to tell number one to the Chatfield wakeboarders, inspectors, and bass. Yes,
So
yes.
guess where we're going next year to start off 2025, Eric?
Now, Eric was tuning in, Jamie. He was listening to your talk about the dreams because he had one too. Night before he dreamed about shipping his wakeboard boats.
But Jamie's was a dream. Eric's is a nightmare.
And now this is one of the truer statements that Eric has chimed in here about Mr. Paul. Paul's the only one in Colorado that needs to hire an accountant to handle the taxes in his winnings this year. We got to our connection out of Kansas City, our TPO team member, Mr. Stoney Floyd, tuning in. What's up, brother Stoney? We appreciate you. And USA Kayak Fishing Magazine letting us know scent is where it's at. You know, it's a possibility, man. But you know, I definitely want to shoot the juice, though. I'm gonna have to look into this bait. There's no doubt about that. And of course, our man, Mr. Trev. It feels good to see Jason and Paul, the OGs, on tonight. That's right. We sexied the place up by having those guys come on the show here for sure. We appreciate that. So let's keep going around the room here. Jason, what was your name of the game? You did both of them, man. So talk us through kind of what was, if you don't mind, what was working, what wasn't working.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different. Went out there pre-fishing like the Saturday before, and I was smashing everything on swim baits, right? Like little underspins. There's a lot of shad at Chatfield. It's kind of pretty consistent fall. So I was catching a lot during doing that, but this time around it was a little bit different. Beginning of the day through a evergreen shower blow, probably one of the best smallmouth top waters out there. And I talked to a lot of guys. A lot of guys were kind of threw topwater first thing in the morning, but didn't catch anything. But it sounds like a lot of people were throwing buzz baits and, buzz baits and like choppos and like that type of stuff. In my experience, smallies tend to react a little bit better to poppers and walking baits.
Yep.
And they definitely really liked it first thing in the morning, smashed it. Like I said, I got them on both days. Good one on the multi-species day. But for the bass, after I did that, I started working around the corner, headed to the back. I was planning on throwing the underspin, but I saw four guys on the bank. I saw Flanagan. I saw a few other dudes like Brian and all that. So like they're kind of fishing in the spot that I wanted to go into, because you can actually find the old bank from before it was flooded. Like if you kind of come out to it, you'll actually see it drops down like 2 feet before like final break that goes into the main lake, because it's so well flooded, and that shoreline 6-8 foot underwater, and the smallies are sitting on. That's what I was catching them with the swim bait last week. So this time, since they were all there, I just slipped in the back. Saw Jamie almost first thing. We were both fishing the island together. We're just kind of bullshitting, and started catching them in the bushes, and just throwing a little cleanup craw, quarter ounce, couple pegs, and just throwing into the heart of the trees. There's some smartweed out there. I didn't really catch anything on the smartweeds. I don't know what Jamie did. I kind of hate fishing that stuff because it gets so tangly and like just hard to get your weights and baits out of. So kind of fished the edges of that stuff. But really it was like there's some brush, and then there was actual trees, and like they were really in the middle of all that crap.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto West 118th Place.
That was bass day. Well, multi-species, kind of the same thing in the morning, and then caught trout, caught a walleye. Didn't catch my last two walleye, and it was just kind of a tough day out there for me trying to catch the full bag. But I think multi-species definitely makes you a better angler, because like there's a lot of strategy that goes to that.
So the deal is 3 walleye, 2 bass, and a trout. That's what you have to hook out. Okay. Yep.
And I mean, there's like, I know this is deep diving into this, but like the multi-species, you got to make decisions. Like, where are you most likely to upgrade? Like, if you have a 16-inch bass, are you more likely to get a 20-inch walleye or a 20-inch bass, right? So you got to make those decisions. Got to cover a lot of water. It's, I would say I enjoy fishing the bass because it's a single single goal to do, a little bit simpler for you to think about, and I think it's a little less stressful. Personally, I'm also a bass guy too. You guys all know this, but it definitely is it's a little stressful.
There's no question about it, man. It's I always explain to people that make no mistake, bass angling, bass fishing, we never ever claim to be the cerebral batch. You know what I mean? That is not the case. Keep it simple. 5 fish, 5 big win. That's it. That's, you look at, there've been leagues that have attempted to be started that, got too complicated in the rule sets, and the masses, grabbed pitchforks and torches and were like, no, they don't want to get rid of this stuff. You can't get too brainy about it, so that's, I actually, the thing that keeps me out of anything multi-species is because every walleye and every trout I've ever caught has been in the search of bass. So I've never purposefully said, I'm going to catch a walleye today. Nope. They just jump on my stuff that I'm throwing, and that's how I end up with them.
It's interesting because I grew up in Missouri, and I never fished for walleye until I came out here. And what I've learned is those same bass techniques catch walleye all the time. It's really just a barrier you have to get past. I caught most of my walleye in pre-fishing in 5-foot water on a money badger crankbait.
Oh yeah.
Just nailing them, and then you catch some bass along with them. So I think it's I'm on both sides of it, right? So I bass fish too, but I think it's interesting once you kind of break that barrier, and then you realize you can catch walleye anytime you want on bass stuff. It becomes just as fun, in my opinion. I think that's what I like about the multi-species side so much. It is cerebral, and you are.
Yeah.
It's more about efficiency, and how can you get your bait longer in front of fish than everyone else, and how many casts and those kinds of things. And
that's cool.
You tend to find your way.
And I'm thinking you gotta be, I don't do multi-species, but I would figure, in the middle of the summer, I would try to target my trout first thing in the morning. They tend to be harder, at least for me anyways, it would be harder. I want to get the hardest one on the board first. I would always go for my bass last, because bass tend to be okay in the afternoons. You can kind of get on them, and then, like you said, so yeah, you're right, Jason. There's probably a process, and I lose sleep after 20 years of fishing bass. And on a night before a tournament, figuring out how I'm going to try to catch one species, I would get zero sleep, and I would be a total spaz the next day trying to do multi-species, because as soon as I would get to my one spot, I'd be thinking, am I doing the right thing? Should I be going for the walleye? I'm here for the bass. I don't want to be here for the bass. I want to go for the trout. If I go for the trout, then I got to go for the walleye. Well, no way. I would just I pull an Eric Ali, and I would just go, woo!
Sure.
Indeed. So Jamie, actually, I wanted to ask you. You say you're from Missouri, man. That's one of my favorite areas, the Ozark country out there, man. That is just phenomenal. Those lakes kick my tail 6 ways to Sunday, but I love them. I love everything about them. We're actually trying to see if we can make it to Table Rock here for the All-American Championship. We're trying to put a few things together to make that happen. But that area. Are there some similarities that you find from the Ozark Lakes that translate to Colorado style of fishing there? I mean, a lot of those Ozark Lakes up there, they're not real big with vegetation. They're mainly rock structure, clear water.
Fishing a lot of streams in Missouri, so
okay,
smallmouth, clear water. So that kind of translated for me.
Yeah,
Taneycoma with trout kind of translate a little bit. Jason taught me fly fishing, so that helped, but. There are a lot, look at Stockton, kind of rocky, clear.
Yep.
Not a lot of cover everywhere. So there are some similarities for sure.
Nice. The whole Highland Reservoir thing, I mean, it tries to roll over there. They don't have, though, near the traffic piece that we get to deal with. No. Jamie, did you see at any time anywhere that you were fishing, I mean, as far as pressure goes, or were you in such an area? Looking at that stringer of yours, brother, I mean, that's an impressive stringer. Smallest fish you had was a 16. For that day, I mean, that was a sound day. Clearly, you found, a batch that were just like hanging out and cross-eyed and were ready to bite anything you threw in front of them, right? I mean, or did you find any kind of pressure?
Well, I don't know if it was anything. I mean, it was a specific color for me. It was a black and blue. the cleanup crawl, and it just seemed like when I was pre-fishing, when I was pre-fishing, right away I was catching them on
Is
that.
cleanup one word or a hyphenated word?
It's one word. Crush City. Yeah. So I just and then I switched colors because I wanted to check other colors to see if one was more dominant than the other when I was pre-fishing. And I caught maybe one or two more smaller fish, using like a green pumpkin, or they have one with the orange belly. I tried that because the water was a little bit more murky in that area
Nice.
than the rest of the lake. And it just didn't add up. And I kind of freaked out because when I got home, I double checked. I only had like 4 of those left. And I was like, okay, wait, where's that one I was using to pre-fish? And, because it ripped the head off, right? And then I just bit it down. I put it in my box and I said, that's the last resort one, right? Just in case. And I just have one left. So I'm definitely making the trip to Shields, and I'm going to go pick up a couple more of those. So
little tip, always carry Mend-It with you.
Yeah, I need to start doing
They'll save
that.
your tournament. I've had it where I'm down to 1 or 2 baits and I'm gluing those suckers together and it makes it work.
I will definitely pick up some.
Paul out there throwing these Frankencraws.
It's true, man. He's sitting there at night gluing baits because he's using like a bait that's very fragile. He's literally sitting in the parking lot gluing baits back together. I'm like, dude, you're insane. It was good.
I'm not gonna. He's a mad scientist to me. I'm not questioning shit. He's been on a tear this year.
On that bait, so like it was kind of like futile. What's interesting though, Jamie? Like I was throwing green pumpkin, you were throwing black and blue.
Mm-hmm.
You said smaller fish. I typically throw green pumpkin. Same bait, same area, same time,
same weight,
and you did catch
same pressure.
Yeah, you did catch bigger fish than I did. So maybe color makes a bigger difference than I thought.
I that's why I experimented with it. I kind of wanted to make sure.
I'm kind of a green pumpkin kind of guy, but maybe I shouldn't be.
I don't know. I mean, hearing everybody talk, watching all the YouTube videos, because obviously I got to do that because, I know nothing about these lakes. And it was just one of those things. It was like, yeah, I'm going to throw what everybody else says to throw. I'm going to check all that. But I was catching small fish. All the smallmouth I caught, except for the day of the tournament, were small. And that's when I just decided I'm going to try to be all in on the largemouth. And I did catch a 16 1/4 smallie flipping that thing. So
wow,
yeah,
I guessed way wrong. I should have gone south. Oh my gracious, I should have gone south.
Well, I'm glad nobody really went south. I mean, it was like basically me and Jason. I mean, there were a few people, like rotating away from us. Nobody really came in on us that were kayak fishermen. I mean, maybe once or twice they pop in behind us or when we weren't there. It was more of us trying to battle off the bass boats. Yeah, Jason had an experience with one guy. Yeah. It was just, they were just come in and cut in. And one guy, I guess he just thought I was okay with it because he knew I was fishing a tournament, but we were talking the whole time. And he just kept getting closer and closer. And then he started fishing it. And then I left and I came back and he goes, dude, I caught like 4 fish doing what you were doing. And I'm like, dang it. Because, they're watching you do it,
Yep.
And then, but it didn't matter because that last like 2 hours, I went back behind him and I caught that 16 1/2. And that I was really excited about that because I need to get rid of that 15 I had. So.
Austin, did you was trout the first name of the game for you first thing in the morning? Is that how you went about it as well? And then went after your other fish there, or which one? Because you got a pretty good 17 1/2 trout there, man. Did you put up? That was a good.
Yeah, that was my initial plan, but I launched from a Kingfisher, and right there, that first group of trees pulling out into the lake, the bass started blowing up right there. So I got my 16-inch bass out of the trees right there, and then trolling out of there, that's when I got that trout. So,
Was there a ton of bait in there, Austin?
oh yeah, you could see it after they were blowing up. That's when you start seeing all the small bait fish, small little blow ups here and there, and the little flutters on the surface. So, yep,
Good stuff.
that whole south end, even out on the main area, not even the main lake, but yeah, and up in those shallow flats, yeah, they were all over the place, all over down there. So, yep.
Did you stay in the no wake most of the day, or did you pull out and venture a little bit into the
All
into the high
day.
seas?
All day. Yep.
I don't blame you.
I do not like wake very much. Everybody can tell by the outriggers.
Yeah, I knew if I was going to get south, I launched at the north, and I knew if I was going to get south, I had to do it at first thing in the morning. So I did that. I went as far as I could first thing, went down there, fished a little bit down in there. I pulled a bonehead move, just a complete ignorant. I needed to have a dream the night before about the fact that 8-inch fish and above were allowed. Because I come back, I've retreated my way back to the north and ran into Mr. Collins up there, and he's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, just Dink City is all of because I had caught, I don't know, 3 or 4 little guys and a boatload of walleye up there on the dam. They were, like you said, Paul, I was throwing a rock crawler up there and getting it that 4 to 8 foot range, throwing that rock crawler in red craw. Dude, they were throating that thing. I mean, they were just mashing it. They were not letting it get away. And it was just walleye after walleye. I was surprised that I didn't get my line bit off because they were taking it so that far in. I'm like, good Lord. It was all day long with, with the pliers. But when I got back there, I told him that I was like, yeah, just dinks. And I was like, I just can't find anything, to get over that 10-inch mark. He goes, you caught some 10 inches? I'm like, well, yeah, a couple of them. And he's like, dude, it's an 8-inch limit. And I'm like, God bless America and Dale Earnhardt Jr. No, I totally forgot about that till right now. But I think, in 4 fish, I was probably sitting on 22 inches. You know what I mean? So, it was real small what I found up there.
Yep. I did the same thing at Horsetooth last year. Yep. Caught, don't even know how many fish, but all of them were under 10 inches. So, nothing goes on the board.
I've been fishing bass for so long that, that the 12-inch thing is kind of grilled in my head. And then the new gene is if I go into a CKB event, if it's under 15, I'm even questioning whether or not I'm even going to record it. Because I'm not there for AOI, right? It's like I'm not here just to have a good outing. I want to win the damn thing. So I know I'm going to need a level of fish to compete, right? And so, you start thinking, where your brain's at with that. But yeah, that's just dumb move on my part. But I've been known to do dumb things. That's kind of my shtick. Might be a superpower.
And I noticed some things were going a little wrong with Gene when I get a text. Hey, bro, you got any bolt cutters? I'm like, aren't you in a tournament? You need bolt cutters?
No.
Your cage under the water gets stuck. You got to cut the lock on the cage or what?
No, worse. I have 2 key. I have one big ball of keys that has a little quick disconnect that can, separate them. So I have my accessory keys and my truck keys. So that way I can keep the truck running while I have to go lock something on the back or undo the trailer or whatever I'm doing. Those accessory keys decided to take off somewhere between Chatfield and my house. I don't know what happened to them. So I didn't have any keys whatsoever to get in my trailer, to unhitch the security piece of the trailer, my rod locker, nothing. So after scrounging and terrorizing my house and my truck, I come up with enough spare keys to at least be able to get my trailer so I can go to Pueblo and camp in my trailer now. I can open it up. I found, like 3 or 4 of my spares, but I don't have many other keys that I once had. And so I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get in my trailer, Jim. That's why I was asking you, hey, I'm going to need bolt cutters for Wednesday because I'm popping locks and we're coming one way or another. It had nothing to do with the kayak. I was fine. Didn't need bolt cutters for that.
I've never had anybody ask me for bolt cutters during a tournament because like on Saturday after like the tournament was just getting over. Weren't you still out there on the
No.
water when you asked me that?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I started like Jason or like Eric. I wasn't focused on fishing anymore. One downside to having testosterone therapy is that my lizard brain fires really fast right now. So I'm less frontal lobe willing to discuss why the boater was within fishing rod range of me tapping him on the head, and why he thought that was okay to throw a 4-foot wake at me from 2 foot away. So yeah, no, I wasn't having any, it was not relaxing. It was not good. My anxiety was through the roof. And at that point I thought, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just going to bail here.
Okay.
We're just going to call good before I lose my cool. And then CPW is going to be fishing a few of these little punks out of the water. Cause I thought to myself, I could twist him in half. I know I could. If I get my hands on him, I'm going to break him.
Release the juice.
Yeah, I was going to shoot the juice, baby. That was good.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. No, so I bailed early in a not normal move for me, but I knew it was best if I did that, and I didn't want to fight the crowds. So that's why I was asking for bolt cutters. But anyway, guys, every last one of you put on a show this weekend, and my hat's off, massive respect to all 4 of you guys, because that just wasn't awesome fishing skills, which it definitely was that, but it was also just 100% mental game for you to stay focused like that, keep yourself in there. I'm sitting here making jokes about that I was losing my mental game, but I'm out there. I'm in the twilight, of the stuff that I used to do. So I still have the utmost respect and admiration for guys like you that hold it together, that can go put that stuff, and make it all come together. So hell of a job, all 4 of you guys. For Jamie on the win, congratulations on the ROI as well, Rookie of the Year.
Thank you.
That's awesome stuff. You did it the Dale Earnhardt way. You did it the Paul Roth way. Don't leave anything up for debate. Just close the door on them.
I'm glad you didn't start last year.
Yeah. You won it last year, didn't you, Austin, for CKFC?
Yes, sir. And I know that. Yep. What was your final score, Jamie?
They hadn't posted it by the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only had like
haven't checked
260
it, so.
something. So the fact that you had a first place, I'm pretty sure you would have beat me. So thank you.
You're welcome.
What's funny about that? I launched in the South Boat ramp, and Landon was there. He's a youth angler, just joined us, right? The runner-up to Rookie of the Year. I see him 6 o'clock in the morning, talking to him on the ramp, and he's just like, I got to beat Jamie. I got to beat Jamie. That's my whole goal. So I go all the way down to the south, which is whatever, a half-hour like kayak ride. Get down there, I see Jamie. First thing Jamie says, I got to beat Landon. I got to beat Landon.
Yeah.
These guys are locked in this morning. They're going at each other today for sure.
That's awesome stuff. Jason, I can't thank you enough, man, for taking time. I know you're a busy dude, man, and congratulations on coming back to the board again. I mean, this is like, what, your 3rd time on the board, something like that?
Yeah.
That's
third
awesome.
position on the board for sure.
So I know the tournament is, you're the Bass tournament director, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So for the Bass Series, CKFC, Jason Duong is your new tournament director for next season. They're in good hands, man. That's exciting to have a guy with your experience doing that over there. It's looking going to be a ton of fun to see how everything plays out with schedules and everything, and get a chance to come fish with you guys, especially the ones that Paul can't make.
Yeah. Let me know when you're not going to be there.
Right.
Should be fun. We'll drop a schedule soon here. We got to iron out a few things, and honestly, we're reevaluating Chatfield, which was on the list, but it should be done. A couple wrinkles for this year. Should be a good time.
That's awesome. Exciting stuff. Paul, your dominance continues. I hope it's over, because we're gonna be fishing against each other at Pueblo. So yeah, I hope you're safe and have a great weekend, and your fishing sucks. But no, not at all. I don't want to win that way. Hell of a job, man. That was impressive stuff there. Because you were in the bass and then you jumped in multi-species, so you definitely bounced back from that whole deal, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good year. Can't my best year fishing ever for sure.
Did you lock up AOI for CKFC?
Yeah, on both sides.
Both sides.
On both sides. Jesus.
Uh-huh.
He's the first angler ever to have a perfect season. So he scored 300 points. So 3 tournaments, 100 points apiece because he won all.
He
Oh, well, then
deserves it.
Then
Well,
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't take
Not with
back.
you.
I hope next week sucks for you.
I have not.
That's
Everybody goes
just-
out on top, so you're done. You got to retire now. Everybody goes
Yeah.
on top. Don't be
That's
like
what I
Tom
was gonna
Brady.
say.
Don't be like Peyton Manning. Just go out now and we'll buy you rods and we'll buy you bait. You can go fun fish on Sunday when we all leave.
I still have one goal for the year, and you can imagine what that is.
I think the scarier part out of this is I think he's won 5 of the last 6 tournaments he's fished, including CKB's Trinidad, and then a couple of the multis, a couple of the bass ones. So pretty heavy streak here for this guy.
Yeah, you're on one of those, man. That's impressive to watch and see. But I take a little bit of solace in the fact that last year you sucked. So
Hey,
It happens.
Wow.
second and third, whatever.
What that first CKB tournament, I blanked at Horsetooth.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just
Yeah,
never
but
know.
you had a lot of company on the blanking of that one, man. That was a rough outing.
Yeah, why would anybody go to that lake? Who's in charge of that schedule, man? What the hell?
We all thought that it was going to bounce back, right? I mean, we knew it was rough at the state championship, but we thought that's just a one-off thing. We're going to be fine. Nope. Still crickets. When we got there, still dinky fest fish. All right, boys. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up here. The final episode. There's a lot to this one, man. I can't thank each and every one of you so very much for enough for coming on this final episode of season 4. It's been an awesome season here with us. We're looking forward to kicking off podcast season, which will get underway probably in about 45 days here. We got a little bit of fishing to finish up, and then podcast season goes crazy. So I'm sure I'm going to be having each and every one of you guys back on the show, and we'll sit and talk more at length, and we'll learn more of your tactics and get some more good one-liners out of Austin, like shoot the juice. We'll see if we can get some swag up for Austin there. Get that sponsored. Yeah.
I like it.
And we'll be bringing Paul on to talk about how he blanked at Pueblo for the state championship.
Oh, no, man.
Jamie had a dream that Paul blanked. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. Folks at home, make sure to smash that subscribe button, man. That's how you keep us rolling here. Again, this is our last paddle and fin, but we're going to be back on the TPO standard channels that we were before for the time being. So you'll be able to still continue to catch us there, Facebook and YouTube, of course. YouTube being one of our bigger platforms that we want to keep rolling. So if you are so inclined, smash subscribe. Tell your mom to go subscribe. Tell your sister and your brother and aunts and uncles and your friends of all of the above to subscribe on YouTube. That would be super awesome. Any final words, gentlemen?
Good luck at
Nothing here. Good luck. Yeah, good luck next year, guys.
All right, hang tight for me after we roll out here. Folks, you know the drill. Tight lines, be safe.